I'm so excited, Jewel, because in the world of confidence, people call me all the time. I think the most common thing I hear is when people are either about to or in the middle of a job search, is when their confidence goes, boom, it plummets. And having the world's greatest expert in you be able to kind of talk this through is going to help so many people. So thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so thrilled. And, your bio is in the post here, but needless to say, from a cred perspective, I don't think there's anyone that has done more, knows more, writes more for all the media. Your webinars are so great. So we're going to give people hooks to that so they can get all the tips. You give so much free stuff is great. But today, right now, what I really want to chat with you about is how to get people out of that doldrum and feeling like, what, I can do this. I can get a new job. I can put a process in place. So my first question to you is, why does it tend to throw people off so much? What is it about finding a job that seems to be more depressing than death sometimes?
Oh, the reason is because the emotion that is kind of dominant in job search too often is rejection. And so what happens is the typical path, which is not the correct path, but it's a typical path: apply online, put your resume everywhere, and that's what you do. The problem is, though, that 90% of the time, you don't get a response. And as a matter of fact, the statistics show that the success rate of going from application to interview to offer purely through a job board hovers at about 2%.
2%? Did you say 2%?
That's the highest. It's 1 to 2%, but I didn't want to break people's hearts. But yeah, so that's all about rejection. You're sitting there at the computer for, hours during the day or evening, and basically nobody's getting back to you. You're only interacting with the computer, but it feels like human rejection. And when that happens over and over and over again, yeah, absolutely, that knocks away at whatever confidence you thought you had in the beginning.
Oh, no joke. And so beating your head against a wall, talk about that. And yeah, you just keep submitting, hoping that somebody's going to see it. Oh my God, I hate the thought of it. And of course I had firsthand experience as an applicant. I've worked on the other side as, vendors that provide that terrible software, sorry to say. But you're right. It is that kind of rejection and feeling like I'm not good enough. So is there a time before that happens that there's, a moment of, I'm going to look for a job. I should look for a job. When does that go off? Should it go off in people's heads? It's kind of what's the thing that they should start doing?
The very moment you have a thought about leaving where you are, the very moment you're itching to get out of there, start to structure your job search.
Okay.
And the reason for that is job search takes longer than what almost everybody expects. And you have to kind of know that going in. So the moment you have that thought, absolutely start to get your ducks in a row. Ask yourself, do I have the tools? Are they marketing me correctly? Do I want professional help to make this go faster? And you really want to start as soon as humanly possible.
And you said it takes longer than you expect. So I'm the most impatient person and I want things instantly. I want to put my resume and get the job to be done. What's a reasonable, in today's modern world, with all this technology that is making it harder, but what is a reasonable amount of time for people to say it's going to take me how many weeks?
Actually, let me tell you this, because this is U.S. government statistics. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says that the average job search takes 29 weeks. And so I report these figures about every week. The Bureau of Labor Statistics updates them every month. Over the course of time, it's fluctuated. I would say the low number that I reported would be 27 weeks. The high number that I've reported has been 36 weeks.
Okay.
But the point is, that's 8, 9, and then, that's the statistics. Not everybody falls into it. It's 10, 11 months. That's the average job search when people do it on their own. It takes a long time.
And that's for the executive kind of white collar, resume required jobs that you're talking about?
That's especially the case because as you go up, up, up in your career, as far as the job titles and the level where you are,
Yep.
those opportunities are going to become more and more hidden. I work with plenty of C-level executives, six-figure candidates, and not even I, with all of my magic wands, am getting them a job 2 days from now. It absolutely takes time.
Wow. And so one of the things that I know you're really a big proponent for too is have a system, but also, identify yourself and brand yourself. And I don't want to use that overword brand. It's just, it sounds too scary, but how do you not get intimidated by the younger people, the more qualified people? It's easy to kind of say, oh, well, somebody else is better than I am. How do you get past that?
Yeah, you get past that by actually reaching within yourself and recognizing what you have. And I don't want it to sound like, oh, frou frou kumbaya, look within. It's not really that. But here is what you need to confidently embrace about yourself. There are three things: who you are, what you do, and the value that you bring.
Okay.
Know the answers to those three things, and you're not going to be overly concerned with what this person may bring to the table and that person may bring to the table. No, understand what you bring to the table. That's what's unique, and you go forth confidently based on that.
So you said my favorite word, go forth confidently, that confidence in the middle. The confidence is probably, in my opinion, even more important than what you did and what's on the paper, because when you're confident about what you can do and you want to do, so will that person on the other side of the table. But that's the key, is that it's got to be a person, because computers don't read confidence.
You're absolutely correct. And one of the things that I really like to impress upon the people that I work with is that, the way you're going to find a job fastest and with the least amount of pain and frustration is going to be human to human connection. So what we were talking about at the top of our interview regarding, this practice of being on the job boards for a few hours a day and all that kind of jazz, it's not getting you the results. I already gave you that statistic. Well, let me also give you this. When you're making human to human contact on a regular basis, all of a sudden that 1 to 2% success rate skyrockets to 40 to 70%. Speak to a human being.
Oh my
That
gosh.
is how you will get a job.
That there's no comparison. Like, oh my God. Oh my goodness. So when you get depressed, not you, but when somebody gets depressed, you don't ever get depressed. You're perfect. When somebody's like in this job search, and even if they got a rejection from a human, there's maybe good reason to kind of be like, oh, bummer. Is there anything that you can offer that, get back on the horse? You can do it, sure. But in reality, how do we maintain a high level of confidence in a job search mode?
Actually, since rejection is kind of this dominant force in job search, I like to give people something to do so that they can do something with that rejection. All right, so you have applied for a role or gone on an interview or two, and they've rejected you. They have said, no thank you through the computer, or they've met you and they said some form of no thank you. Here's what you can do with that rejection. What you do is file that away on some little spreadsheet that you're going to make up in a very uncomplicated manner. And what you're going to do is mark your spreadsheet for 60 days from now, especially if you've met these people. And in 60 days, you're going to email them. You can call, either way, reach out to a human being. Let's say that you interviewed with them once or twice and just didn't quite make it. You reach back out to those folks. You would be amazed at the number of times a company will hire someone and they didn't work out for whatever reason. Doesn't mean the person they hired was awful. It just wasn't a right fit or whatever it was. Well, guess what? If they interviewed you in the first place, they did like you. That's how you made it to meet those folks in the beginning. So if the first person doesn't work out and you show back up, you're doing them a favor. They liked a lot of what you had to offer. If you were their number 2 or their number 3 person, hey, guess what? It's better for them than them starting at ground zero. You're doing them a favor. So roll through their email after 2 months, do it again after 90 days, 120 days, and and show interest in their organization. It's not just an email that says, hey, do you have an opening for me? No, it's more like, you know what, guys, I came across this article and I saw that you just won this award for X, Y, and Z product. Yeah. Congratulations on that. And really, that's all you have to say. They know they interviewed you before. They know that you're interested in a position. Be top of mind, add value to your email, and circle back on those rejections. Yeah. I've had numerous clients who've gotten a job that way 60 or 90 days after the interviewer said, no, thank you. That's how you turn that no into a yes.
Yeah, I love that. But here's the thing, you just kind of set me up without knowing it. That goes into your whole philosophy about having a process and really finding the companies that you want to work at because you believe they are a good fit for you, skill-wise, culture-wise, and so forth. So having that short list is really the key, and really being convinced yourself, first and foremost, that that's a place you want to work. So staying in touch with them and building those relationships can only be beneficial over time. So that's brilliant, brilliant. And as a result, I, again, want to just call attention that you have an incredible set of free, no cost involved, resources on your website. You have an incredible webinar. You have this beautiful program to help people get that 70% return you quoted, or at least shorten their job cycle significantly. If nothing else, I know people have heard you and seen you now. They know that you're the real deal here, and I just thank you for being here, bringing your beautiful smile, pretty and pink woman. I love it. Any last tidbits that you can offer, and please, take the calls from these people that need help, but at the same time, what can they do right now, right this minute, to kind of get their confidence up for job searching?
I like to be people's cheerleader, and I don't mean it in a frou-frou surfacey way. I like to encourage people based on what is genuinely, authentically inside them. And what I find time and again with the people I work with is, you have more power within you than you think you have. So give yourself permission to send one more resume, make one more phone call, send one more email. You can do it. It is okay. It's not offensive. You're not bothering the person. The person doesn't think you're stupid. They don't hate you. Nobody thinks like that. Reach out one more time. One more time than you thought is normal or comfortable. That's where you find the success, and you absolutely have the power to do that.
Amen. And on that note, I know it is always wine that can make everything better. So, so Jewel, our time right now is 5 o'clock. It's time for wine for us. I hope that our viewers will indulge at some point responsibly. And needless to say, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.